All right, what's up, everybody? It's DPA Sports. I appreciate you guys for coming back to the channel, and we're going to kick off the 2021 year with a mock draft. And hopefully the mock draft can be in person this year, along with all the COVID protocols. The NFL's been doing pretty well, especially throughout the regular season. Hopefully, the playoffs they can stick to it and continue their success and really hold all the teams accountable. And get through the season so we can have a Super Bowl this year. But other than that, let's get right into the video. So obviously the first pick for the Jaguars is going to be Trevor Lawrence. Not going to talk too much about that. A lot of people are trying to say that Justin Fields was better than Trevor Lawrence. That's just not the case. Trevor's been absolutely phenomenal at Clemson. And so on to the next pick for the Jets. I think Sewell's going to be the pick here. It has to be. Sam Darnold didn't really have a great health season. Joe Flacco had to step in a few games. Then his receivers weren't there for the majority of the beginning of the season for Darnold, and then they came back for Flacco, and then they ended out the season like 2-1 against pretty decent stretch of games, over a 3-game stretch, but it was against the Rams and the Browns, which they won. So I think that Darnold does have a little bit more potential. He was only drafted in 2018, so I think he has a lot more growing to do. But he's also very cheap right now, so I think that you can hold out for next year's class. Has a guy coming from UNC. Has one more player, I forgot his name, but there's a few quarterbacks that you can get next year's class that I think could definitely help out your team. Moving on to the Dolphins, I think that Micah Parsons is going to be the pick here because they got absolutely stomped by the Bills this past weekend, and you can't really have that, especially when you have two very good corners, Byron Jones, and I forget the one on the other side, but they are just phenomenal corners. You got to get that help in the front seven. Can't be getting gashed like how they did this previous year weekend. Sorry, and I think that just has to be the move. Now for the Eagles, I think that this is going to be an edge position. If you really wanted to get a quarterback, I think like I haven't watched much film on Trey Lance, but I don't know Zach Wilson's the move and Justin Fields by the way they play their offense. And even I saw Eric Bieniemy come in for an interview, or it was an online interview, but regardless, the way Mahomes plays isn't the way Wilson or Fields play. So I think that if Trey Lance plays like stature-wise how Matt Ryan or Patrick Mahomes play, then you can make a case. But I think if you wanted to wait, you could definitely slide Mac Jones in there. You have all those Alabama receivers, have a veteran linebacker, have a decent O-line, Alex Mack and the one left guard over there. I forgot. Those guys are pretty elite. So I think that in that aspect for quarterback, I'm going to pass for now in the first round, but I'm going to take Gregory Rousseau. He's just probably the best edge rusher in the class. I don't agree with Kwity Paye up here, but regardless of TDN's rank, I'm going to go Rousseau for that position for the Falcons. Now, for the Bengals, again, I think that although you had a whole bunch of success with Jamar Chase over in LSU, you have to get what you need, especially in these top rounds. It's just not going to be the same talent as you get down into the 20s, down into the second round and beyond. So I think offensive tackle Christian Darrisaw is going to be the move. Just the best offensive tackle that I've seen in this class. And then now we're moving on to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm going to skip linebacker because other than Xavier Collins, there's just a big jump from Xavier Collins down to, I would put Nick Bolton and then Osukwamora and then Dylan Moses. Dylan Moses dropped his stock terribly from last year. But other than Zaven Collins, which I mean, you're just too high up right now to attack like that position and that salary for Zaven Collins, which you have to go for a cornerback. And I think Patrick Surtain is just the guy. You have Darius Slay on one side. You need help on the other side of that team. Jalen Mills took over the safety spot, so he's not on the other cornerback spot. So I think that Patrick Surtain is the move right there. Uh, Obvious receiver position here. You get rid of Galladay. You get Jamar Chase. I think it's just great. Unless they lose the quarterback Matt Stafford, then maybe that happens. But this is only the first mock draft. There's gonna be plenty more this year. I think this is where you take uh, Zaven Collins just because it's the need. They took a lot of defensive talent last year for the Panthers, and again, if they are not set on Philip Walker, I think his name is, or Teddy Bridgewater, obviously the starter, then I think that quarterback position could be a move. It really could. Like, you could take any of those guys, but I'm really not trying to take a whole bunch of quarterbacks. I'm trying to switch it up a lot more in this mock. So this is not the most realistic, but this is how the board could fall, because a lot of teams that even lost, like, look at the Chargers, for example. Like, they have their quarterback, but they just needed a little bit more in each other department, especially coaching. But anyways, back to the Panthers. I think this is where Zaven Collins gets taken. And here the Broncos, I would give Drew Lock one more chance. You had him for 3 games or 4 games last year. You put him in a whole season this year. He has a few games off where he's injured, and then also the COVID scandal in a way. And yeah, so I think that this here has to be cornerback, which this is where Caleb Farley goes, because they have AJ Bouye on a contract year, and maybe Bryce Callahan. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know Bouye is on that contract here, so you have to go with the cornerback here. And if you wanted to stay with the cornerback, J.C. Horn is here. He's a very physical player. I liked him. If he was a Raven, that would be phenomenal, because he could really take over that Taven Young spot with like all the same qualities, but a little bit bigger, and can come downhill a little bit better on those runs, which Marlon Humphrey loves to do. But anyways, going back to the Cowboys, I think that Liam Eichenberg could be a really good player here. Just kind of fits right into that like top Dallas Cowboy line mold that they had a few years ago. But I'm gonna take Jalen Mayfield, just because I think he's a little bit more polished than Liam Eichenberg, and Rashawn Slater is more of like a hybrid, can switch back and forth. I think they really want something set on that outside tackle position. So for the Giants, I'm gonna go back to edge here. And this is where we take Kwity Paye, because Kwity is a great edge rusher, and the Giants have a phenomenal Leonard Floyd. No, Leonard. I'm blanking on his name. Anyways, Leonard is in his name, and he is a phenomenal D tackle. So I think that with him coming in and then Kwity Paye on the outside, they could really, really attack that that offense that they're opposing. Anyways, back now to the 49ers. Here is where you have to take a quarterback. You can't sit on I'm super surprised I let Justin Fields get all the way down here, but I was really trying to take for need on this mock draft. And yeah, so very, very, very surprised. Definitely, if that ever happened, how my board fell, 100% there was going to be any team from whenever I started trying to trade up. But so going to the Chargers here, offensive tackle. I think this is where you can take that hybrid in Rashawn Slater, because they have decent at spots, but I think the coaching really didn't have it look like the Chargers played to their very top potential. So I think that's where you can interchange this Rashawn Slater, put him where you think he fits best, and let him go to work. Um, Moving on to the Vikings, I really do want them to get interior D linemen, and just for the sake of the video, I think I'm gonna have that be the way it falls. They do have Michael Pierce in the back of their pocket, so I think if Tufele can step in and work with Michael Pierce, I think that could be a dominant team right there, getting after the quarterback and really plugging up the interior of the line. And then Everson Griffin, or no, not Everson Griffin. Um, Man, he's a speed rusher, very quick outside rusher that they do have on contract. I forget his name, but he could definitely step in there and kind of fix that D line that they've been having trouble with, along with Eric Kendrick as a linebacker. So moving on, this is a no-brainer. Kyle Pitts. Uh, not much to say about the guy. He's phenomenal. Here they do need everything I am looking at for the team needs. They do need all of that, like the first 4, 5. Um, I'm gonna go different here, and I'm gonna go receiver. Definitely Devontae Smith. I personally think the best receiver in the class just did wonders here, and if he can somehow click with that DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray, and then have Devontae on the outside, because Larry Fitz is apparently retiring, so that's gonna be a big blow. And Fitz played outside and played a lot of slots, so if he falls anywhere near here, definitely look for him to get taken by the Cardinals. Moving on to the Raiders, we're going to have an edge, and we're going to take Osai. Other than Arden Key and, Clellan Ferrell, like, I don't know. It's very tough to see what Gruden's trying to build there, especially with how bad the defensive coach played in this year's game, in this year's season. So, anyways, we're gonna pair up Jalen Waddle and Tua back again. Best case scenario, Zach Wilson falls here to 19. Trey Lance easily. That was didn't have to talk much about that, but that was just the way the board fell, and that was 100% how it would go in. It would be 2 snaps. How quick those picks would be into Roger Goodell. Anyways, back to the Jaguars here, because they do have a first round pick. I'm gonna go offensive tackle, try and help out Trevor Lawrence, and we're gonna have to go with Liam Eichenberg, just a great offensive tackle. And they might be able to move on from one of the contracts. I forgot who it is, but one of the contracts in that Jaguars O-line is very, very costly. So I think that he could take over that spot and kind of be a very good puzzle piece for that offensive line. Moving on to the Colts, I would say quarterback, but we don't know what's going to happen with Phillip Rivers, and I'm pretty sure T.Y. Hilton's on his contract year, so I'm going to give him a little bit of spice and give him Kadarius Toney. Very far-fetched that he goes in the first round, but I think it's possible, and he's a weird weapon that could definitely take over that T.Y. Hilton role. So I think that he could fit very nice in the Colts offense. Moving on to the Browns, it's hard to say. They just drafted a safety, got Ronnie Harrison. They have two pretty decent outside corners, Greedy Williams and man, I keep going into the same thing where I forget all these guys' names. But um, if I had to choose, it might be receiver. You know, like other than Jarvis and Rashad Higgins, Donovan Peoples-Jones was like a fourth round, third round pick, maybe later last year, and I mean, he showed some promise, but I don't know if it's going to carry him to the playoffs or what they're going to do later on in the year. Oh, I know the perfect pick. I just looked at their team needs. I remembered that a very dominant linebacker core in the college Alabama, and Dylan Moses and Mac Wilson played together, and if they can carry that chemistry, what they had in that 2018, 2019 season, man, they could be in very, very good team, very good duo for the Browns. But going back to edge, I'm actually going to take Aziz Ojolari here, speed rusher that can maybe take over that Kamali Correa role that he actually had success in a few years ago or last year. And then, Jadeveon Clowney stepped in and kind of took a little bit of playing time from Correa. So we'll see how that works out. But this is an interesting spot because they could definitely go with interior defensive linemen. But I'm going to go with edge just to give them maybe something for Shaq to get a little bit more open. Shaq Barrett, he was the sack leader last year. And I think that if they can get a Rashad Jr. here, then I think that could be a very, very formidable pick for them. I think the Ravens can go edge later on. Not going to go there. Receiver, they have Rashad Bateman, who they can take. Miles Boykin might be coming into his own, but he's so off, up and down that it's really hard to judge with this Ravens team. So I'm going to skip over that for now, and I might have to go with J.C. Horn, who I was talking about earlier. Didn't really know this was going to fall like this, but I definitely could see it happening just because I think that, again, with the receivers, I personally really wanted a receiver earlier on in the draft. Like if Devontae Smith was there, Jamar, or even Jalen Waddle was there, really wanted a receiver. Bateman I didn't know too much about. And then you also had tight end, Kyle Pitts. If he was there, I wanted that. And then O-line, I think that Landon, what's his name? Landon Dickerson for Alabama is a perfect fit. He played along with Bozeman, I think his freshman year and Bozeman's senior year or Bozeman's junior year. And I think they could really kind of, form some sort of chemistry once again. So I think that if they wanted to hold out, Landon Dickerson also did have an injury, so we'll see how that plays into his draft stock. But anyways, moving on to the Jets. For the first pick for the Jets, I got Penny Sewell, and I mean, again, they could also take a chance at Mac Jones. No, definitely not Mac Jones. Sorry. They could take a chance on no. I don't think receivers here for them. Man, this is tough. They have very bad CBs, cornerbacks, this year, so I think Stokes could definitely be the move right there. A lot of people were saying Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, kind of bring them together over to the Jets, have them, reign their dominance in New York. Unfortunately, that's just not how it's going to fall. So, but here, I do think they could go Mac Jones if Ben retires. Let's say Ben doesn't retire. They're going to hold out one more year. They pick up Carson Wentz, take on his contract. I don't know, just a scenario. I'm just going to give him offensive tackle because they definitely need that. And Samuel Cosme is very, very good offensive tackle from Texas. So I think that it kind of just fits right there. Now this team definitely is not going to have their quarterback, as Drew Brees is going to go into the media and he's going to take on some sort of role at ESPN or ESPN, I think. So I'm definitely going to give him Mac Jones for the Saints. If they can get anything skill position wise on the offense for that um, next season, then I definitely believe that the Saints could pick up Mac Jones and get like maybe a Armand St. Brown, get him Chris Olave, Rondale Moore is very utilized like weapon, kind of like a Chris Moore in the Panthers offense. Anyways, I think there could be a lot of potential with Mac Jones over there taking that starting role at the Saints. Moving on to the Bills, lockdown Tre'Davious White. They have that one guy, number 24 for the Bills. Man, I forget his name, but got a very nice interception, and I think that they do have a lot of young cornerbacks. I think linebacker is a good spot for them to take. Owusu Koramoah could be that guy. Other than Matt Milano, their linebacker's a little suspect, but they do get the job done. So I think there could be some sort of fit for the Notre Dame linebacker. Moving on, I think that with the way Devontae Adams is playing, there doesn't need to be another receiver taken by the Packers. They can just develop whatever they want, honestly. I'm going to give him an offensive tackle. Alex Leatherwood from Alabama is just a very stout tackle. And they did just have one of their tackles go down with the ACL injury, so who knows how long that's going to take. But, man, it would be a very, very big blow to that team. And to finish off, we're going to go with Wyatt Davis here for Patrick Mahomes. I personally think he's the best interior offensive lineman in the draft. And, he provides a lot to that offensive line, who we don't know what their starting guard was going to do. He was helping out with COVID stuff. So I'm going to just scroll through. We got Trevor Lawrence to the Jags. Jets get Sewell. Dolphins get Parsons. Falcons get Rousseau. Bengals get Darisaw. Eagles get Surtain. Lions get Jamar. Panthers get Zaven Collins. Broncos get Farley. Cowboys get Mayfield. Giants get Kwity Paye. Niners get Fields. Slater goes to the Chargers. Vikings get Tuafele. Patriots get Kyle Pitts. Cardinals get Devontae Smith. Raiders Osai. Dolphins Jalen Waddle. Washington football team Zach Wilson. Chicago Bears get Trey Lance. Jaguars get Eichenberg. Colts get Tony. Browns get Dylan Moses. Titans Ojulari. Buccaneers go with Rashad Jr. Ravens get J.C. Horn. Jets get Eric Stokes. Steelers with Samuel Cosme. Saints with Mac Jones. Bills with Owusu Koramoah. Packers Alex Leatherwood. And to finish it off, the Chiefs get Wyatt Davis. I appreciate you guys checking out my video. It does mean a lot. If you do like it, please leave a like in the description, or under the video. Hit that like button, and in the comments leave what I could do better for my next video. And I appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.